Today what we're going to be doing is drawing our automata box within Inventor and assembling it. Before you get started, don't forget to log into FileStream, and that way you can save things on your Google Drive. I'm already logged in. And then also in Inventor, don't forget to start a new project, and I am going to do that. I'm going to start a new project and call it Automata Box. You may already have a project that's called that, and if you do, just make sure you click Browse and select it. But I don't have one, so I'm going to click New, and then Next, and then I'm going to call this Automata Box. I actually might call it Automata Toy because I'll be putting lots of things in there. Make sure you click the three dots, find your Google Drive under this PC, and locate your Intro to Engineering folder under My Drive. I have just an engineering folder, and I'm going to click OK and Finish, and that'll be where all of my files are saved. So I can click Done. So we're going to create a new part, and we'll draw the back of the box, we'll draw one side of the box, and then the top of the box as well. And these will be really easy to draw. They're just rectangles. The main reason I wanted to show you with this was so that I can show you how to assemble the box. We haven't done a lot of assembly, and I felt like that Project Lead the Way really required you to do some assembly that you weren't comfortable with yet. So we're going to practice some more on assemblies with this assignment. So first thing I'm going to do is start a 2D sketch and click my XY plane. And I'm going to use the rectangle tool for the back of my box. The back of my box is 5 inches, and I'm going to click Tab, 4.5 inches tall. And I'm ready to finish the sketch. I'm going to click the Home button so you can see that. And remember that our MDF that we're using is a 1/2 inch thick. So I'm going to click Extrude and extrude that rectangle 1/2 inch. Now I'll go ahead, and that's done. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'll click Save As because I'd like to name it something besides Part 1. So I'm going to call this Back of Box, and click Save. Now I'm ready to start a new part, so I can close that tab, start a new part, and again start a sketch. And this time I'll create the side of the box. If you remember, the sides of our box were still 4.5 inches tall, but they were only 3.5 inches deep, and that's because the back of the box was a 1/2 inch. So in total it's 4 inches deep, but we're going to make it 3.5. So again, start a sketch with a rectangle, and it's 3.5 inches deep by 4.5 inches tall. And click the Home button so you can see it, finish the sketch, extrude it, and again it's only a 1/2 inch. So that is one of the sides. Now you don't need to create both sides. You'll be able to use both, be able to place 2 of these within the assembly. So I'm going to click File and Save As, and save it as Side of Box, and click Save. Now what is really cool if you wanted to change this is you can change the material. So we're using wood, so it's not exactly wood, it's actually MDF. I'm not sure if they have MDF in here. We can look. Doesn't look like they do, but you can change the wood to birch or whatever if you want it to look more realistic, like the box that we have. So I'll close that and say yes to save it. And then I want to create one more new part, and this is going to be the top and the bottom of our box. So I'll start a sketch on the XY plane, and remember on this one it is 5 inches wide, but we've got 2 sides that we put this inside of, and they're both a 1/2 inch, so we really only want to make this 4 inches wide. So I'm going to click my rectangle, and start at the origin, make it 4 inches wide, and again, just like the sides, it's only 3.5 inches deep. And I'll click Finish Sketch in the Home button so you can see that. Extrude it 1/2 inch. And I can click File, Save As. And that is the top of the box. And click Save. And again, if you want to change the material to wood, you can, just to make them all look the same. Now I'm going to click Save again. I'm going to do something here because I know that the top of this box is eventually going to have some holes in it where we're going to put our toy designs, but the bottom of the box I don't want to have holes. So I'm going to actually, they're the same size, so there's no reason to really recreate this. So now that I have this saved, so I'm going to click Save one more time just to make sure. Then I'm going to go up to File and click Save As. And then I'm just going to rename it Bottom of Box. And so now I have 2 files. If I click Open, I'll show you that down here I've got 2, one called Bottom and one called Top. They're exactly the same size, but later I'll be able to put holes in the top of this box. So I have 2 files that are exactly the same size. So we're good to go now to assemble the box. So back to the home screen, I'm going to click Assembly this time. And I'm going to assemble it just like we did when we glued it together. So up here under Place, if yours says Place from Content Center, then click the down arrow and actually just click Place. So I'm going to click Place, and I'm going to go find the back of my box, which is right here. And I'm just going to click it. Mine is zoomed way in. And once you've clicked, you can either right click and hit OK, or you can just click Escape. I usually just click Escape. Now something neat is, notice I forgot to color this one, but if I actually come over here to my browser and double click it, it actually opens that file, and I can actually change it to color it just like all the rest of them. And then I can come up here and hit Return, and so I've edited that part without getting out of the assembly file. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to place the sides. So I'm going to click Place, go down and find the sides of my box. So double click Side. And these, I need 2 of these, so I'm going to click once, click twice, and then hit Escape. And I've got 2 of those. So now I want to constrain this edge to this piece of the box. So I'm going to click Constrain, and we're going to use a Mate constraint, and we're going to click this edge and that face of the box and click Apply. Now it's not exactly lined up the way I want, so the next thing I need to do is tell it to line up the top of this with the top of this. Now you don't want to do that with a mate, you want to do that with a flush constraint. So click Flush and click the top, and that lines those up. But notice if you spin this around, it's still off a little bit over here. So I want to click the sides, and again, as with a flush constraint, I'm going to flush that one, and now it's all lined up. Don't forget to click Apply. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the other piece. So I click the side, and it turned it around, and click Apply. Now I know that looks weird. I'm going to cancel out of this. You don't have to, but notice I can still move it around. But I want to make sure that I tell it the top and the top need to be flush. Oh, you know what? I think I was on flush, so I'm going to show you how to, yep, I did a flush constraint instead of a mate. So I'm going to right click over here. So under the browser, under that side, I can right click and delete that. And let's try that again. So I'm going to move it out of my way. Click Constrain. Make sure you click Mate. And Mate is kind of like gluing them together. So click Apply. And now I want to use Flush to make them line up with each other. So flush the two sides and Apply. And flush the tops and click Apply. So there's the sides of our box. Now we're ready to insert the top and the bottom. So again, click Place, and I'm going to insert these separately. So I'll do the top of the box and click, and I only need one top, so I'm going to hit Escape. And now, just like when we were gluing this, remember we had to glue it on 3 sides to put it in here. We're going to have to use our constraints again, kind of like our glue. So we're going to mate this with the back here, and that flipped it around. I know in some of the videos they showed you, they made you rotate those. I don't ever rotate them because if you glue them in the right place, they'll automatically rotate. So I don't ever worry about that. So I'm going to mate this side. I'm going to flip this around so that I can glue it to that side and click Apply. Notice that this top and this top are not flush with each other yet. So I'm going to click Flush and click this top and click Apply. Now, how you can know for sure that you've constrained everything correctly is if it all moves together. So the pieces are not moving on their own. It's all moving together. So that means it's secure. So you can always try that out and make sure. Okay, one more piece to place, and that's the bottom. So click Place, and I want to find the bottom of the box, which is here. Do exactly the same thing we did to the top. So click that and hit Escape. Then again, I want to constrain with a mate constraint this side with the back of this box. So make sure I'm seeing that correctly. It's a little hard when it's all the same color. Click Apply. Go back to the home so you can see what's happened here. And then again, I want to glue this side to the side in there. And again, that's with a mate constraint. This one's mate. And so click there. And I'm going to spin it around, and I want to click there. So it's glued to the side now. Only problem is it's not flush with the bottom. It's too far up. So I'm going to click my flush constraint, click the bottom, and click Apply. So we should be good now. I'll try it out and make sure that it won't move except all together. And it does. So there's our automata box. So make sure you go up to File and Save As. And I'm going to call this Automata Box Assembly. And click Save. Okay, the last thing we're going to do that we haven't done yet is create a multi-view drawing of our assembled box and also all the pieces to our assembled box. Now, we've created multi-view drawings by hand before, but we've never done it in Inventor, so this will be a new process for us. So I'm going to go ahead and close this assembly tab down here. And the first thing we're going to have to do is check and see if you have the IED title block template. So if you click New, and under Drawing, right now I only have these standard drawings, and they're too big for us to print. We want a specific one that we've created for IED, and mine is not here. So if that's the case for you, I'm going to show you how to download it. If you do have the IED title block template, then you can proceed to the next step. But for those of you that don't, I'm going to show you how to download that. So right now I'm going to hit Cancel, and then I'm going to go out to Echo to the assignment. And on the assignment, which you can get to from the agenda, under number 5, the IED title block is there for you to download. So click the link and then download that file. And once it downloads, then go back to Inventor and click Open. Now yours will probably come up into your Google file stream. So if it does, click the down arrow and find your downloads under this PC. And then scroll down until you find the IED title block that you just downloaded. And open that. And it's going to tell you that it's not in the active project, but that's okay. Click yes. And now we need to save that as a template. So now it'll be available to everybody that uses Inventor from now on. So go to File and click Save As, and then click Save Copy as Template. And it will automatically take you to the template folder in Autodesk Inventor. Then click Save. And now that is a template. So if we close this now, and now we click New, the IED title block is there. So we'll double click it and open it. And right here, it's prompting you for some entries. And these are going to be at the bottom of all your page. So my first one is going to be my assembled box. And I'm going to put my name here. And then right now I'm guessing at the scale, but I'm going to say that it's 1:1, but we'll see. We may have to change that. And then this is going to be sheet 1 of 5. And then today's date for me, this is the 5th of January, 2020. And click OK. And you just say OK on that. And notice it put all of that information that I just gave it down there on the bottom of the title block. So this is what you would actually send to a manufacturer. So in order to put our box on here, we're going to click Base, and we're going to click the Open, and it should have gone to the project, but since we were in Downloads, we may have to go back to our Google file stream. So I'm going to double click my drive, and mine's in my engineering folder. And the first thing I want to put on this is my automata box assembly. So I'm going to click Open, and notice the scale is 1:1. So I haven't clicked yet. It automatically brought that in, and it brings in the front view. And I'm going to drag to the right and click. That's the right side. And then from the front, I'm going to drag up. And again, I'm just dragging. And then when I'm ready to place it, I'll click. And then I'm going to drag diagonally and click, and it's an isometric view. Now I know this is probably not where you want it. Notice it changed the scale to 1:2, so we'll have to go in and change that, but I'll show you how to do that. And then just click OK, and it places those pieces. Now notice it put them in black and white, and I'll show you how to change that back to color. But if I hover over this front view and then drag, it's going to drag my front, my top, and my right side to the appropriate corners. And then the isometric I can drag down and so that it's on the page. Okay, now I like to color my isometric views. So the way to do that is, while you have this red dotted line around it, if you'll right click on it and then say Edit, click Edit View, and then I can just click this little button right here, and it will shade that. I didn't mean to put that one in there, so I'm going to delete that one. Okay, so I've got my isometric as colored. Now I'm going to add dimensions to this. So in order to add dimensions, I'm going to click Annotate, and I'm going to click the Dimension tool. So I want the overall height from here to here, and then I'm dragging out. So that's to show whoever assembles this that this is 4.5 inches tall. I also want to show them how tall this inside is. So from here to here is actually 3.5 inches. Now normally we wouldn't drag across. That's one of our dimensioning guidelines. We really don't have a choice on that one. And so that's our heights. Those are okay. And now I'm going to dimension the width. So from here to here, so I'm clicking those and then dragging up. That's 5 inches, and click OK. I also want to show the inside width from here to here is 4 inches. Click OK. I probably also want to show this little width here, which is 1/2 of an inch. Probably should have shown that on my height as well. From here to here is also 1/2 of an inch. So much easier than doing it by hand. So we've got the heights, we've got the widths. The only other thing is we need depth. Remember from when we did these by hand that we can either show the depth here or we can show it up here. So I'm probably going to show it up here. So I want to do from here to here to show that that's 4 inches. And then also here to here is 1/2 of an inch. And they can subtract those two and know that from here to here is 3.5 inches. So that's my assembled box. Now we're going to create another sheet for each one of our pieces as well. So in order to do that, now I just need to go back to Place Views and then click New Sheet. And again, it's going to bring up the prompted entry dialog. This time I'll do the back of the box. And again, you can put your name and the scale. And we're going to try 1:1, but we may have to go back and change it. This is sheet 2 of 5. And again, it's January 2020. Now I'll place the back of the box. So click Base and click Open and find the back of the box. Double click it. There's the front of it. If I drag to the right, there's the side. If I drag up, that's the top. If I drag diagonally, that's the side. And then click OK. Now I'm going to drag down. And then I'll drag this one down as well. I'm going to right click on that one and edit that view and make it in color. And then click OK. These are much easier to dimension. Not a lot of dimensions on this, so click Annotate, click Dimension, the height from here to here, 4.5 inches, the width from here to here, 5 inches, and then the depth from here to here, 1/2 of an inch. So that's the back of the box. Now, notice our scale is wrong. We thought it might be 1:1, but it's really 1:2. So in order to change that, under Sheet 2 in the browser, if you click the arrow and then click the arrow beside of IED title block and double click your field text, you will be able to change the field text there. If you can't double click your field text, I was having trouble getting it to do that, you can right click on it and edit the field text. So I'm going to edit that to 1:2 and then click OK. And then remember on Sheet 1 it's incorrect as well. So to get back to Sheet 1, double click Sheet 1 and then again under IED title block, right click your field text and edit that. And again it's 1:2. Okay. I'm going to click Place. Yeah, 1:2. Alright, so now we're ready to add a new sheet. So I'm going to get back to Sheet 2, add a new sheet, and this time it's going to be the side of the box. And again with my name, I'm going to go ahead and make the scale correct here, 1:2. This will be Sheet 3 of 5, and then today's date. And click OK. Click Base, find the side of the box, and there's the front view, drag and click, drag up and click, drag to the side and click, and then click OK. Then drag these out, drag this one down, right click and make this one color. Click OK, and then add your dimensions. Height, width, and then depth. And we've just got one more to do. Actually, we have two more to do, the top and the bottom of the box. We'll probably just do one of those for right now. Top and the bottom of the box. The top will eventually be different, so we'll go ahead and do both of those. So again, under place, let's do new sheet. So this will be the top of box, and wish you could tab. Again, 1 to 2, sheet 4 of 5. Now if you feel like you don't need to watch this to do this, make sure that you watch the end of the video to know how to export this as a PDF, which is the way I want it when you turn it into Echo. So I'm going to place the top of my box. And there's the front, right, side, and isometric. OK. Drag, right click, edit view, and color. And then add my dimensions under annotate. So there's the width. Let's click dimension. Width. Click OK. Height. By the way, these, if you wanted to change like the decimal units and stuff, that's what you could do there. Click OK. I usually just leave them. And then this one, the depth, 1/2 inch, and click OK. Eventually this will have holes in it, so we will have to dimension those eventually. The good news is when we update the top of the box to include our holes, it will update this sheet, and all we'll have to do is go back and add the dimensions to those holes. Okay, so that's the top of the box, and then one more, we'll do the bottom. So new sheet again, and bottom of box, and your name, scale, sheet, and the date. Okay, and find the bottom of your box and continue the same process again. So there's that. Dragging. Nice thing, I remember how we lined up our multi-view drawings when we made those. This automatically does it for you. All of this is lined up. Okay, so place the dimensions. There's height for that one. This will be exactly the same as the top, but I want to go ahead and put it on here because it will eventually change. Click OK. And that is our multi-view drawing. So now I'm going to go to File and Save As, and this is in my engineering folder, and it's calling it Automata Box Assembly IDW, which is the drawing file, so that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and click Save on that. And then the last thing you need to do is export this as a PDF. So I'm going to go up to File, click Export, PDF. Now I'm not sure why Inventor defaults to this, but you want to change it. So click Options and make sure that that all sheets is selected. So this actually may have changed. In years past, it has defaulted to current sheet, which would only do one page, but we're doing all the sheets. So make sure that is checked. Click OK, and then Automata Box Assembly PDF, and click Save. So in this, when you submit this in Echo, please make sure that you select the PDF file and not the IDW file so that I can actually see that. But you notice it opens your PDF. These are really nice drawing files that you would actually send to a manufacturer so that they could make your boxes.